evening. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fool's Landing, our Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd Edition campaign set in the Forgotten Realms. I am Jamie. I'm going to be the Dungeon Master this evening for session 54, where I am joined by three of our role players here who I'll have introduced themselves and their characters, starting in the order I have your character on the screen. So, starting with, say, Wayne.
Hello. Yes, I am Sahar, a still almost sixth, but still fifth level aquatic elf, cleric of Volkur. Mostly a pacifist, but he will tussle if he has to.
Indeed. Good to have you. Next up is Adam.
I'm Adam playing Bartholomew, who, as of I think last session, became a level 6 priest of Lyra, Lady of the Mist.
Perfect. And then last but not least this evening, Brandon.
Hello. Oh, hello. I am Brandon. I am playing Nod, the Shadow Minotaur Thief of 6th level.
Perfect. And the screen shows a fourth character here who is Tornuk. He is a former slave of the Minotaur maze that was aligned with Nod and couldn't bring himself to continue to fight for Fortuan the Elder, and instead has joined the group now, blindly following their lead into wherever it leads, because there's no more, really, no more Minotaurs standing as far as this labyrinth was concerned. So that's really just a beginning of a recap. Real quick before we do that, I will show this real quickly. So this is our current group XP. We've got level
Oh,
6. Yeah, Bart's level 6. Nod is level 6. Sahar level 6. So all three of you this evening, same level. Some of you getting close.
well,
We'll
look
see.
at that. I did not know.
Yeah, you are leveled up.
I'm leveled up.
That was something that was almost forgotten there. Because, that's why I put that little asterisk there to remind me. So yeah, you did level up to level 6. If you want to go ahead and roll your hit die, your current and your max,
Just 1d8. See
2d8,
what happened?
and
Oh,
you
yes.
yeah.
Take the best. I love this. Let me switch to the table so I can see what's going on.
Ooh, not the best roll.
Damn. Shoot myself. I guess I got 3 points.
But you did have 3 to your max, 2 to your current, and you are level 6. So
Uh-huh.
you, I don't know that you get any additional spells at this point. Double check that.
I might get a third, but I don't think so.
I did re I did do some updates to this. We'll hop over real quick and just check in, make sure. I don't want you guys to leave anything on the table. So your level 6 priest, now you would have a second third level spell. That's what you get at level 6. And
So
then
I have now 3 a day. I have +1 for wisdom. Cool.
yeah.
That's nice. That'll
And
help.
yeah, and your Thaco will go down next level. You'll go to 16 next level.
That'll help.
Yep. But let's see, did you get any other proficiencies? I think you may have. No, you'll get your weapon proficiencies next level. And okay, you do
Yep.
have a non-weapon proficiency available to you.
Okay.
So you did
But
earn a non-weapon proficiency. That's again something that if there's a plausible case to be made for having learned it on the job, we can add it right
yep.
away. If it's something that you think that would require training or whatever, then we'll do that next time you get a chance.
I think I'd like to leave it open right now so we can use it in story if needed, or if something comes up I decide on.
Okay.
But we've already got herbalism, healing, sailing. Yeah, I'd like to save it for now.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So cutting back to where we left off, this was in the center of the Fortuan's Labyrinth, the Minotaur maze that you cleared, then came back and fully cleared. So this is where you're standing now. Last session, I think you had made your way essentially up from the middle dark through and directly to the center of the cave, the center of this labyrinth where you spent most of the session. So I don't know if there's anything anyone else wants to mention, or if there's anything in the player notes that you wanted to cover. But that would be the high level. Let's see.
I'm looking, I'm not seeing it sticking out here. Let's see.
Yeah, I know,
Mm.
that as far as more detail than that, you all had come across some items. I don't know if there's any discussion you have about who's got what at this point. If there's anything in the inventory that needs to be sorted through, or if that's all done, that's fine too.
Yeah, I don't remember if we went. Did we go through some of that last time or not?
We've gotten
I know.
anything crazy identified yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had anything new identified or crazy identified yet, so I don't think anything has changed too much.
We had a staff, I think, that Kurza took, like a spellfire is what I'm seeing on here, and a ring that we were unable, a bag we're unable to identify. The mirror image wand from the Drider cave. It doesn't say on here who has these items, though. And somebody has a coral key, non-magical, but made from the same material as the coral chest from Vorida's tower.
Yeah, okay.
Image bag. So I do have a Jimmy, a harmonic crystal written down.
That was
Oh,
from the tower, I believe.
yeah, it does. It just says sleep once a day on it. Is that just as for the wizard spell?
Yes.
Okay. I might make sure that's noted where I can see it so that I quit forgetting about it. Might come in handy at some point.
Is the tower above us still standing, or was that destroyed?
It was still standing, but it filled with water. It was filling with water when you all flee
Yeah,
from it.
I keep wondering about that. The main entry, say banquet hall, where we took the portal up to the top of the tower. We fought those suits of armor, those hourglasses. I just can't get rid of those. We never did figure that out, did we? We cannot go back and do that now. The rest of you will drown. I always get sticks to me like maybe it's not, but I keep thinking it was something important that we didn't figure out. But either way,
Yeah,
here we are now.
here you are now
Yes.
on the stairs. Do you go? Do you dare to go forward, or do you have another plan? What are your thoughts?
All honesty, now that you were talking about the tower, it would not be the absolute worst time if we wanted to backtrack and search into that, because with two clerics, we might be able to do the water breathing. We have a Sahar who just breathes water anyway.
Oh, I do have some herbage to help with that, but why? I guess we came this far just to confront this portal here. We left the tower, could have taken a pathway to, was it Mithrandir? What is that underground city?
Myth Nantar?
Myth Nantar, that's it. We chose not to go that way. We specifically came. Were we mostly not in your heart? Are you just defeating the Minotaur here and you're done? Because I say we
I
just like
wanted to destroy all traces of Eridos. He was a very evil wizard. He did some pretty evil things. I would even be inclined to say you never know what else you might find about the sea elves and other clansmen that you might have lost their kinsmen.
there's maybe bits of history I am not aware of. I don't come from a small village anyway. But what is on the other side of this portal? What about our friend here? Tell us.
So you're asking Tornuk? He
Yes.
he knows not. This was off limits. This
Fortune's portal, I do not know either.
there's some belief amongst the Minotaurs maybe of where it led, but
Yeah.
none of them have walked through it with their own being, so none of them truly know.
Surely you've been here for years. You must have heard some rumors. Something.
We were not allowed through the portal.
And now is your chance.
This is true. I've always wondered about it, but I've wondered a lot of things because I've wandered this maze for so many decades that I've forgotten what any other part of the world looks like. So whether it be through this portal or to the tower, I am just glad to be vacating this cursed place.
Now that you are free and be your own self and no longer a slave, wouldn't it be fitting to at least find out? You really want to leave here never knowing? Let us go. What do you guys think? Should we? Yeah, out of character. What do you think? Should we? Let's do it.
I hear you. I'm sure. Show me the way. I don't have to trick you to go into the world.
I'll walk with them side by side. Ian, I already forgot his name. Did I tell you how bad I am with names? Manny
So
here.
let's have you all do some wisdom checks as you get up next to the portal now and you're truly contemplating this. I'm going to give you some more information potentially that
May help. Do I get my bonus of +3 for a mind thing to this, or just straight up? Because I already have a 17.
it's just a matter of how big your success is.
Let's do it. 4.
All right, and I think we just need nods.
Oh,
Nice. Okay.
nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Wisest of you all.
How's the spidey sense feeling? Yeah.
Yeah, you all get to the top. You get to the portal. It does start to light up, activate as you're getting in proximity to it. You can see on the inside of the portal that there's like a raised area underneath that there's something inscribed in it. And upon looking closer at it, it looks like it's ancient, it's some kind of ancient language, I'll say. So does anybody have any type of ancient language skill or otherwise, like this way of reading this?
I plausibly have a chance.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you have the read language.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
tough roll though.
Yeah.
Good.
He rolled
We don't
5%
have our
chance.
mage.
he only has a 5%
Well,
chance.
it'll be a test to see where we're at with roll 20 tonight, maybe.
So if anyone else wants to read language, I'll give you all a 1% chance if you don't have that as a skill. So there's a 1% chance that you could read it.
When old school D&D, there was this thing called the God Call. They happened. You had a 1% chance and then another 1% chance.
Uh-huh.
But those things did come through.
That's
So,
yeah. It could happen. You never know.
all
So
right.
in this case, it didn't. It almost did. It was close there. It was close there. But
Mm.
yeah, it looks like it's just something that's inscribed across the top that is now noticeable that you're standing directly in front of it. But otherwise,
This-
the make of it and the style of it does appear to be consistent with the sea tower that you were in. It does have that same kind of make and look to it. So it invokes the idea that it is somehow connected to the ancient elves when you see it.
So this place is, who knows how old.
That's
This labyrinth could
some
be thousands.
someone that we were suspecting that some of these places we have been drawn to maybe linked in some way. I think was a thought we've had previously.
I've heard some things that ancient elves did. And pretty astounding.
I think it's possible through this portal also may lie some of the answers to markings on your arm. We need to that.
Yeah,
For the
buckle back
edible.
my sleeve and Bart will take a look at his tattoo and see if it's how it's doing
Oh,
today.
Yeah,
how are you
I
guys
think
looking health wise?
I think
Not just realize how bruised and beat up he was. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh,
no problem.
that's
Real quick, the shimmer on your bond is looking very similar, almost has a swirl to it. As it gets near ancient magic, it does animate that way. So you do feel that connection to ancient magic that validates that there's something at play that's connected to it. But it doesn't hurt or burn any worse than it would or than it did when you were in Pro Camper and you got near the Cormyreans. That was more where it started to burn and control you. Doesn't feel that way. feels a little more tingly and connected somehow. But I think Nod was curious about your all's health status.
Yeah.
I mean, you was beat up as I am. You might see like you have a couple of
yeah. What
wounds or gashes or burns from the. I can't. I believe.
I'm only down 4. Yeah, I've got. I think maybe said we'd rested previously, so I think we're full up on spells. If you need assistance.
Probably before we walk in the unknown places. See,
All right.
let's make that.
I'll toss you on a couple of cure lights.
Yes.
But you
It
know
would
what?
be much
I'm gonna
appreciated.
roll. I'm gonna roll a percentile for Tornuk as well. Let's see. Just see.
Yeah, I was just going to ask how's our friend here.
No, he has no idea. He's got no damn idea what that says. He's
Uh,
clueless.
Initiative. Oh, okay. I suppose we're not in combat here. I'll just roll them out, right? Oh yeah. Why did I? Jeez, that sucks.
Oh man, my
I don't know.
shoulder feels better.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
even worse.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to use the initiative button for that earlier. I guess.
Sorry, it's been some time since we've clicked on these buttons. It's not a. Yeah, it'll come back. But
The
wow,
sheet
this was.
seems to be more responsive tonight. That's pretty. I guess they were. Here's another one. We'll just.
oh,
There you go.
At least one of them's decent. There you go.
6, 7. Yeah, that's much better. I feel much better. Thank
10
you.
total.
Let's see.
Okay.
Would it be better to burn for general healing or scrolls first? Save
The
spells
spells
for
first and
combat?
then the scrolls. You can use a scroll in combat.
It's not a
Just as
little more
easy as a spell.
difficult. Yeah.
The trick is saving the consumables. Like you'll use a scroll and it will disappear. Your spells will, in theory, come back. Shoot, if we really needed to, we could sit here for another day and
True.
relax. We got plenty of water. Maybe not food. No, we got plenty of food. I forgot.
You have 2 clerics. We're not going to run out of food.
In a whole barrel of beer.
Yes. You still
Oh,
have that?
Let's call
oh,
it.
yeah.
Let's call it 3/4 of a barrel. I'm sure there's been a couple tastes between.
Yeah, you've
Nobody
been
drank
carrying that
first.
around for a few days now.
Okay, yeah, yes, it is not quite full. I've been reducing the weight as we go on, and that's how
Yeah.
I've been trying to keep track of it.
It's very strategic of him.
You
You
just
know,
can't get a
very
Minotaur to leave his barrel of beer behind, can you? No matter how much you
It's
plead.
fitting. There should be a
Right?
Minotaur beer. I don't know that I've seen a Minotaur beer before, but there needs to be one. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I think statistically I'm down 12 hit points, but I'm going to leave that. Save all my spells.
Let's just take an extra day. We've had a rough couple of days. It's been very eventful.
I
We
feel
even
like we're
killed this
cheating. I know. I feel guilty every time we do that. So we could. I mean, DM Jamie's nice and soft, but we could just sit
Maybe.
here for a day. Nothing should come, right? This
Uh,
is the center of the maze,
And
and in theory, we should be safe here. Is there one way in? I forgot. How's this in
the
one little?
dice
uh,
the dice decide how the things would
I was
go.
thinking it is a maze, right? So in theory, it should be safe.
But to
But
get to this center area where this portal is, this little chamber we're in,
Here,
there's only
let me
one kind of way in, kind of
back up
snake
to
I,
the.
a little bit.
yes, there is one main entrance in, but you might see Nod looking from the open door back up to the portal. I'm pointing
Right.
at it like that kind of counts too, though.
I'm just saying, if you want to sit here, we can trap this thing with glyphs and
You've,
whatnot and be relatively safe.
so you've got
I think that is a great idea.
Yeah.
this way is where or in the north. I don't know why it won't let me ping, but
You're,
it,
yeah, you can set traps too.
yeah, northwest is your way back
Yep.
to the surface.
Up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We spent a long time. I believe we came to this place like 3 different times to finally get to the center of this place. I think we're going through.
All right, so I'll put us back in here.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go grab a Coke.
That's a good idea. I might go running grab a drink.
So the plan is to rest for another night. Is that
Yes, whether it be 24 hours, 12 hours, whatever it will take to complete a full day's rest for you.
okay? Sure.
It sounded like we were gonna set up a few traps first, or attempt to.
Yeah, we've got a couple of different spells we can ward and trap the entrances to this one, I think.
Okay. Yeah, what are you thinking? Do you want the map so you can...
There we
Yeah,
go.
we'll probably want to figure out where to set those down. Like the glyph of warding does.
Get these guys out of here. There we go.
Basically, we can set that to any kind of a magical trap we want.
Yeah,
It's not in here.
Forget what the damage range is on it, but
physical characters.
God, it's been ages since I had a Coca-Cola.
I will push this button.
I don't really drink this stuff very often at all. So set snares. Good deal.
There we go. Oh, there's like a weird cone of. Oh, there. Okay, it's better.
I'm gonna grab my drink here back.
All right, so now we've got you guys on the map.
I thought there was more we could do besides just a glyph of warding.
I think these green ovals are where you had placed glyphs before, is that right?
I'm trying to remember if maybe you were here when I had taken a few months where I wasn't able to play previously. But let's see. Let's say we have a glyph in front of the portal already, do we think?
You did, I think, have one. I don't know what the duration on that was. If we go back to last session, I'm just scrolling up to see if that was pasted in.
I don't remember if
what the-
not set traps or if we put a glyph of there. A glyph of warding is permanent duration, by the way, until
Okay,
it goes off.
so let's just keep those glyphs where they're at then. They haven't been triggered. So you guys can go ahead and rest for the evening. I guess we'll just do a 2-hour watch order for each person. Is that, or is there a different watch order?
Yeah, we can do that. Did we want to? Is there an actual door as the entrance to this room?
No, there's no door.
I
It
don't,
just winds towards it.
Not all of it's filled in for me, but there's nothing really to like fire trap. We'd need like a door or some kind of object.
Yeah,
I guess
maybe Wyvern Watch. I think that's the first level, but
Yeah, I was trying to avoid those because then we can throw out a few more cure lights.
reasonable.
Oh no, Wyvern's second level. We could we could
Okay.
definitely use Wyvern Watch and then see. I think we'll cast that towards the, or we'll cast Wyvern Watch towards the entrance to this room that winds up to it.
Maybe while they're going
Wyvern
meeting with their
Watch.
gods.
Okay, so let's see.
Maybe I'll go sweet talk Tornik to see if he is available to take a turn order for watch.
Absolutely. We will take
Right.
the last watch. Where are you going to put this sphere? Or
Trying to plug the entry to this room. I think that we're in right now
There's a
with it.
10-foot radius. So it's a 20-foot circle.
nice. Okay.
So it's like that. I'm not sure of the measurement. If they're right.
Something like that. Cool. Yeah. And then I think before we decide to rest for the night, I'm gonna use a cure light on myself to see if I can get the last few. Oh, that's something.
Hey, what about you? Sahar? Do you have any cure spells that you could throw out on yourself or Bart or myself?
I do have one more cure spell if
You might as well use
anyone
it.
is
Yeah, you guys want to...
really in need for it. Yeah. Did
high
not.
five.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe with the rolls that we've been having, we might need all 5.
All right, there you go, Nod. You got 5 more points.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes,
There.
I am still willing to accept more dealing.
Hey, let's roll some d8s. We camp out for the day. Anybody got a deck of cards, or how far down are you, buddy?
I got beer.
There you go.
I
You
am
got some dice. Everybody
carve
got some
little
bones?
dice out of the rock or something.
Yeah,
That'll pass the
let's
time,
play
yeah.
knuckle bones for coppers here for the day. How far down are you now?
If you want to asking how hurt I am, if I had to give like a numeric value, it'd be, I don't know, 29 out of 38.
Wait, you're okay. So you need
That's right.
about
I
9.
I do. A
Yeah.
solid couple of heals. Or
A solid
one good one.
One good one.
And then resting will take care of the rest.
All right, I'll give you one good one. We'll see what happens.
That's yeah.
I'm sorry. I will continue the.
I don't know if I'm ready to trust roll 20 with our fates tonight. But yeah,
I don't know.
just
Apparently,
based on the
both.
healing
These are
rolls.
pretty rough rolls.
We're getting him out the way. All the bad rolls out the way now. So when it matters, we're good.
I'm not. Yeah, you know
1,
what?
2, 3. We're good. I got like a little scratch. It's fine. It'll buff out.
Oh my God, Sahar's
So
gonna sit down and just go pray for himself. Wonder, like,
Yeah.
if I'm off the path, am I wandering off the path? But anyway, there's one for me. Oh yay, I get 6. Okay, I have a spell left if somebody needs it.
anyone else
Thank you,
down?
Bart. How are you looking, Bart?
I'm pretty good. I'm like 2 points off. I think with our healing herbalism, do we actually get extra from resting? I forget.
Yes, yes.
Or
I think
okay,
with the healing proficiency, instead of getting 1, you get 2. If you have herbalism 2, you get 3 total. But
is it?
I'm not sure entirely off the top. I got the player's handbook right here. I can look for it.
I thought we were
Yeah.
just giving one extra point for the herbalism, and
I think it accumulates if you have the. I'm not sure.
make a
Um,
rule.
It's up to the DM too. Yeah.
yeah, no, I thought we were doing the one. I thought we were already doing the one on there.
I think that's what
Oh,
we've been doing this whole game.
Yeah.
Time so far. You get
Yeah.
1 plus
one
1.
extra? Yeah.
Yeah.
The other benefit was like tending a wound.
Yeah, natural healing. You get 1 per day of
Oh, yeah.
not doing any strenuous activities, low activity day.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. But
So I think while you guys, or once you guys kind of get settled in for the evening, we'll assume that you've done this healing, you've set your watch order, maybe entertained yourselves with a few bone dice that you've carved, and then eventually you get the rest that you need to recover these hit points and get your bonuses during the night. So
No.
there definitely is movement observed. So the order that I had during the first watch, you can hear echoes of sounds of movement coming from winding down the hallway, right? It sounds like the fall of footprint, and it never truly gets closer, but it's distinct that it sounds like something comes through and makes some noise in the beginning of your night. A few hours later, during the third watch, who I had Bart you down for, during your watch, I'm gonna have you make a wisdom check, please.
sure.
Perfect. So you start to get some sense like something's watching you and like their eyes on you, and then you look around and it takes you a moment and you realize that there's a figure in the portal looking from the portal into the room, and
Oh,
you can see it from afar. Do you want to get closer and see what it is, or
Not too much closer. Yeah, if I can't quite make it out, I might try and step a few feet closer to get a better look at it.
okay.
walk up, offer him a cookie, and see what happens.
So
Yeah.
you with your roll, it's just more a matter of whether or not you're going to get closer. But yeah, with your roll, as you do get closer and you see this shape, it registers that it's a very familiar shape to you. Something that's been a while since you've seen it, though, which it appears to be the Djinn that you had previously worked with and had created the portal for you that you used that went to Myth Nantar. And I think if you remember, you had some conversation with him back then when you had pulled him from the bottle, and the decision was made for him to create the portal for you. And the portal traverses the plane that he lives on. So when you stare into portals, you often will see him near it. And in this case, you see him in the portal, and it looks like he's trying to communicate with you, or at least trying to let him be seen, I should say, let himself be seen. And eventually he will walk up to the other side of the portal as if he's like standing on this other side of a piece of glass. And he'll urge you to get closer. Will you get closer?
Oh boy. Assuming we still have our warding up here, I think Bart will. Yeah, he'll go up a little bit closer, and he's a little bit suspicious. But is he trying to make like hand motions or something, or is he?
Yeah, he's motioned, I think, with nodded at you, like that he would want you to move closer.
Who do
So
you, I think has had the most rest? I might tap him on the shoulder quietly and kind of let him know what's happening as well.
I think Nod is the one that needs the least amount of rest, potentially.
I have the reading that through have the sustenance ring, so technically only need 2 hours of sleep.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, I might tap Nod and point up to the portal and say, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing here?"
That is a good question. Am I seeing what he's seeing?
You can make a wisdom check. No, you're not. You don't see it.
No, Bart, go back to sleep.
Oh, wow, yeah. Bart's gonna, I guess, walk up a little further on the stairs and look and see if he can see what the Djinn is trying to motion about or
Okay.
communicate.
Let's see. Have him. Yeah, so I think if you get close enough to the portal and you see the Djinn, he's floating, and what it looks like to you is like the sea is beneath him, and he's floating above it, and he eventually opens his eyes, and as he does that, like you can hear his voice in your head very clearly. And he says to you, he says, I will continue to keep an eye on you, despite the fact that you have not upheld your end of our pact. And I must warn you that this portal will read your heart. And what your heart says, it will lead to a different place. You have come far. Be careful, friends.
Bart's not gonna sleep well after this. Does he stay? Yeah, does he stay visible there? And
You can
or
still
is he,
see him. Yeah, he's still
yeah,
there.
just watching, huh?
So as some time goes by, he will continue to like fly around. But you kind of see him like in the distance at times. You could see him just blowing around like the wind in this plane that he's in, that you can get a window to from the front of the portal. But eventually dissipates. He doesn't come back, and it's time for you to hand it off to the next person, who I think is Tornuk. What do you tell Tornuk?
I mean, Tornuk, we don't have a great rapport yet, but I don't think Bart's gonna tell him anything. He'll just be like, it's been
Okay.
mostly quiet. I talked with myself for a bit.
So I think you would notice that he's like only worried about the way in from the labyrinth. Like that's like where he positions himself, and that's the only direction he's worried about. He's not thinking about the portal at all, or that it's a threat. So that's his mindset. But eventually you're all able to get enough rest to recover your hit points and your spells, and the morning, as we call it, whatever it is, the Underdark morning is really, who knows what time it is, but it's registered rest for you. So everybody's back up, and Tornik reports nothing out of the ordinary other than creaking and wind in the night.
Did we? You might have to help remind me, Jamie. But what part of the bargain did we? Like, would Bart know specifically what he was referring to by not
Does anyone
upholding the
else
bargain?
remember?
I'm drawing a blank on it at the moment, to tell you the truth.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am trying to pull up Griff's notes too.
Yeah, Griff probably has it back in there around session 40, I would think it was, when you ran into the Beholder, maybe?
Been a while.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while. That's when I think it was either that session or the following session that you got the wish spell from the Elithid. And in doing that, from the genie, the Elithid gave you the bottle. And the genie basically told you that he would grant your spell for you, but that he needed your help. and that you had all, I think, made a promise to him that you would help him at some point. And so he was reminding you that you had made a promise to help him, and he doesn't seem too bent out of shape about it, but it was like a gentle reminder that he's going to continue to watch over you and make sure that you're safe in the portal world, but eventually he expects that you will make it right. And I don't know if you have all the notes on that, but Tim definitely, I think, was the one that negotiated this, if I remember correctly.
It is not. It's not specifically in the notes of that deal.
Yeah. So
Good
that's
one.
all that was. That is just something that
Sure.
a deal you made to get the portal that you wanted in the condition you wanted. But
We didn't free him. We did free him though, didn't we? Or was that?
We essentially use the bottle to create a portal to get back to Pro Camper, basically.
Yeah, that I
And,
remember.
and and I'm assuming from the way you're wording it, our agreement was we're going to clear out the Underdark-ish area and make it proper from us disturbing the ecosystem from
the
killing the beholder.
yeah, there was, I think that the pact was made that you would clear out the Underdark. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Yeah, kind
So
of. You're far from it now, but again, he doesn't seem. He seems like more jovial and joking about it than he seems upset about it. He doesn't have a demeanor that you've seen before where he's shown any anger with you. So you might still be on the good side. His good side is the way I'll put it. Is the read that Bart would have.
Well,
what did he?
Bart's not sure if he saw it or not at this point.
That's true. He mentions this to no one. This is all in your head, Bart, for sure. Yeah.
It might be, yeah, after
Uh,
the looks I got from Nod, he might just
Should have been
be
just been
quiet.
the. Yeah.
He is, I'm thinking about the thing he told me about the portal will read our hearts, and did he say something about sending us to varied locations based on that or something?
yeah, it will send you where your heart belongs, is what he was saying.
So he's a little concerned about that. That might be, it's if it's actually true what he saw, it'd be awkward to be sent to different places if our hearts are different.
It is cryptic. I'm trying to see how that spins into helping us with your tattoo.
Bart, I think Bart's gonna go to Sahar once we're all up and just casually ask him if he sees anything in the portal, anything odd, or
Hmm.
had noticed anything besides just the swirlings of magic while we've been in this room the last day.
Nod, or Saharn, you could do a
Uh,
wisdom check.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll definitely give you a side look. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
He's-
believe I believe he's in earnest, and my friend has a reason for asking. So here we do.
Wow, you
Oh
had
yeah,
the same check he had. Yeah, I think if you take a closer look now that you've, like you didn't get called to the portal like Bart did, but now that he's pointed it out and you look at it, it looks like there is a shape that's moving around inside of this swirl as you're close at the portal, right? And like in your head for sure, you could see that that could be the Djinn. He's not, again, not up at the portal like he was, but you see like that silhouette of the Djinn amongst the mist of the portal. So do you confirm that with Bart, or
I do. I do. I see the Djinn. Is this I see the Djinn.
Did,
No
did Bart
more,
see it?
no more Pro Camper Pilsner for you guys.
Mushrooms and the healing
like,
herbs.
right?
So
So
then,
I think we're fully up. I think everyone's up pretty much to 99% or 100% health. I think your spell situation is full up as well. And yeah, so the decision looms as to what you want to do here.
question. When we're talking to Bart, the promise that he
Mm.
mentioned, when he meant to clear the Underdark, it wasn't this maze.
I'm assuming
No, this is like 2 levels, if you will, above where the Djinn was found.
Oh,
Like
down.
like
Oh,
you were below 2 levels in a way, and you were down in the depths, the wormholes where the beholder was patrolling. That was where he was found, and that's where the pact or the deal was made.
I was
pardon
Bart's drawn
Sahar.
in Bart's drawn in like two places, I think. Here he still remembers the vision of the mage on the island, and thinks that this portal may be a way to draw closer to that. However, the doing the bidding of the Djinn was something we did agree to.
But we thought it was more important to take care of the tattoos. Just we
Though,
ignored.
yeah, didn't there was a master deeper in the Underdark though that the beholder was serving, from what I recall, wasn't there?
Yeah,
And
there
that,
was a hierarchy there that you started
yeah,
to.
did that not also have something to do with our tattoos as well, though?
Yes, yes. So one of
Um,
they were serving, I think, Moander.
I
uh,
love
Yes.
this.
who have we defeated so far? Just because there's parts of the
Beholder, I
tattoo that
think
have,
when you defeated the beholder, it like faded a
yeah,
little bit. It grayed out.
right,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
yeah. So tattoo wise, like that would align with our purposes, delving deeper to find these foes to defeat as well, or at least for my purpose.
We are the most chaotic, meandering grouping. So we
yeah.
just got all the way down to this portal, and now it looks like we want to turn around and get back to the Underdark. Which
It's
Harn's a little
I,
apprehensive because remember I died there. That beholder killed 2 of us.
yes,
Not
Right?
doing the
absolutely.
Abeloth
He wiped you
There
guys
or
we go.
out.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
was two
It
levels down is a lot harder.
it was a lot harder for sure. You guys had Baden with you. You had the Mind Flayer helping you.
There
You've
was a
gained
bunch of,
quite
yeah.
a few levels since then, but definitely it was more challenging down there in those depths. So chances are the Djinn recognizes that you're not quite ready to fulfill your promise. That's all. But he's just reminding
Got a
you
hint.
that you made one.
Sure.
I love the DM hint there. So we shouldn't turn around and go back right now. Because in game, I'm about to say,
So you're gonna go
you
above
know,
level in no matter what direction you go in. So that's just the nature of where the rock in the hard place.
No, I don't think we want to go turning around at this juncture, but it is something that
we will get back to.
we need, yeah, to venture forth. If that is
so.
truly the way to get rid of these tattoos, we will have to face that sooner or later as well.
So now that you mention that, getting back, how do we get back? If we go through and I don't know, your heart is swayed by something. What if it takes us somewhere where there is not another portal?
Oh,
Hopefully, it's a comfortable tropical island
right?
in that case. But
Probably leads to a prison. We're going to end up inside of a 10-foot by 10-foot stone room with no doors, like carved
So
out of a mountain.
so after some discussion, I think Tornuk would stand up. Like maybe he's been quiet and just listening this whole time, and eventually just stands up and says, "I will go through if you want me to." And he will walk straight up to the portal
Wait,
and
let's go
stare
together.
into it, waiting for you all to say whether or not he should or shouldn't. But he's willing to step through the portal.
That's what we're here for, gents. Nod, follow him.
Let's do it.
Your priests are behind you.
mm,
Let's
steep,
hold hands and walk through together.
I'll steep my censer with a little incense and think of Lyra as I pass through the portal.
Okay, so everyone's gonna step in. Anyone
Yep,
not? And okay,
Yep.
all right. 1 second.
why not?
Yeah, why not? Agreed. So as you
Get it out here,
do,
get it out there.
you step.
Stargate.
Yeah, you step into this portal, and it's just a split second that you're in this space, but you do feel the presence of the Djinn as you're here, and he is swirling around in this space. But he almost looks like he's chasing off some shadows in this portal as you pass by, and eventually it just goes black, and then you
Mm.
all open your eyes, and that's what we're gonna see where you ended up based on your alignment. So what
Oh,
what everyone's alignment is, I think what I had for you all is
Did we just split the
here.
part?
Where is it? I think it's on the XP tracking, actually.
Yeah.
On here. Do I have it on here? No, I didn't add it on here.
I am true neutral.
Okay, so yeah, so I have, yeah, we've got true neutral. I think you're chaotic good, Saharn, correct?
Yes.
And Bart, you are
Neutral good.
neutral good. Okay. All right.
Whoa. Really?
So here's what we're gonna start with is our Minotaur friends. You're gonna open your eyes, nod, and look to your side and see that standing next to you is Tornuk. But you don't see Bart and you don't see Saharn. And more quickly than the fact that you realize who's next to you, you realize that you're submerged in water. And
Oops.
if you open your eyes and look around you a little bit, you see an underwater market from your vantage point that you're standing in the midst of with Tornuk. And you start gasping for air.
Is the portal still behind me?
So you turn around and there is a portal behind you.
Look at
Well, the
you.
smart thing would be to step back through it.
You step back through it. You step back through it, and you end up back in the staircase, gasping for breath, catching your breath, along with Tornuk,
Maybe,
who would have
yeah, I was
followed
gonna
you.
say maybe drag
He's
Tornik with me.
he would follow you 100%. He would be watching everything you're doing at this point. He's your shadow. So you're both over there just gasping for air, not sure what you saw, but that was where you were. So while you guys are doing that, recovering from that, our neutral good friend, the Bart, is going to end up opening your eyes and standing underwater as well, and staring into a underwater development that looks to you as if it might be dwarven in nature.
We're
And
dwarves.
you're standing alone. You turn around and you look behind you, and you do see a portal. And so you can hold your breath for a minute here as you're surveying this.
Did sea moss give us some ability to breathe underwater?
Yes, there was sea moss that gave that ability. I don't know who
Okay,
had
because
it or anything like
I've
that.
got it. I have two of them on me.
Okay.
I
I
might
have
Bart
it.
Bart might attempt to fumble for some of that and chew it to hopefully observe his surroundings a little more in detail if
Yeah,
possible.
let's have you make
Versus trying to run off quickly.
I'm gonna have you make a
Sorry.
dexterity check because just because you're trying to do this underwater and maybe
Yep.
by surprise that okay, not a problem. You're
Okay.
calm, cool, and collected in terms of you're not panicking about the situation. You know exactly where your moss is. You're able to pull it quickly and eat it. And as soon as you do, you feel like you're standing in a bubble in terms of how much air you have to breathe. So you definitely feel like you could move around freely at this point.
I'm sorry. I gotta say, I thought that moss only helped us hold our breath like 50% longer.
Yeah, it does.
So I've got maybe a minute or so,
Mm.
but yeah, before Bart gets uncomfortable, he'll keeping the portal in one corner of his eye, try and look around him and see if he recognizes anything or the designs of any structures or if there's any writing or script that looks familiar to things he's seen maybe.
There's definitely on some of the temple structures that looks like there might be some ancient dwarven writing, which is in part along with the statue that you see, what leads you to know that this is definitely a dwarven settlement, just in the style and everything of it. But it's vast. It's like a valley underwater that you're looking at, and it's completely filled to the end of your vision with structures that all look similar.
And there's no one here, so it's some kind of ancient flooded civilization by the look of it, is what he's thinking.
Yeah. You don't right now see anything moving about. Nothing catches your eye at the moment.
Yeah, I guess Bart will turn to go back through the portal.
Okay. Sahar, you open your eyes, and you don't feel any kind of crushing suffocation from water because you are quite used to it. But as you open your eyes and you take a look in front of you, you're just in awe of which is an underwater elven civilization that stretches as far as your eye can see in front of you, where it looks like it's in pretty decent condition. Like it doesn't seem like it's been decimated or anything like you might have feared, but you really start to up and believe that you're staring at Myth Nantar.
It's not occupied, obviously. I'm not seeing any people, and this place looks like it's just old,
Yeah,
covered in sediment, like on the buildings, stuff like that.
definitely. It seems like it's more abandoned, right, than it is anything. Yeah.
And if I look around, my friends aren't here. I see the portal behind me. Can I see through it back to where we came from?
You can make a wisdom check to see if you're able to see anything in the portal from here.
I have to bring up my character sheet the hard way. There we are. So it's not like a two-way doorway. I can't just see through it. But wisdom should be successful.
Yeah, so if you look back through the portal, you can see the Djinn flying around in the portal,
Oh,
having looked like he was chasing away some dark figures, but they've scattered now. And
but I don't see where I came from.
but you don't see where you came from. No.
It's just see back into the Djinn's realm. That's odd. And I don't see myself. Is this way under? It's not far enough undersea to see like their surface above me because this is lit by sunlight. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, it's way up there. Like you can see what looks like above you a surface of the sea, but it seems like it's, I don't know, half a mile above you from where you're at. It's not, you're not
Okay.
close to the surface. It's a ways up.
Okay. All right. Rather than turn this into a solo adventure, I believe we're at Myth Nantar. This was our goal, but my friends aren't with me, so I'm just gonna turn around and go back and see where I end up. Maybe alone, maybe with them. I don't know, but they aren't here, so I'm going
Okay.
through.
Yep, no problem.
I feel like I should have explored, but I don't want to take the time.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So you make your way back through the portal, and again, you're not breathing heavy. You're not too surprised, really. To you, it'd be like walking into any other area. But when you come back into the portal room, you see the others gasping for air, looking a little bit more shocked by what they just saw, and but yet they're all standing together here atop the steps. The funny part is that no one's wet.
Really?
One thing nice about traveling through the plane of air is that you happen to get dried off in between, which is
Yeah,
nice. So nobody's dripping wet here.
the groomers. All right.
Clear the path I didn't think I needed. We know there was a different way to Myth Nantar behind us. I'm going to describe to everybody what me and Tornik saw first of all. Explain we were underwater, seeing a ruin or not quite ruined city, underwater city that was in good repair, but not fully together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It-
I believe it's Myth Nantar, which was our goal, but I don't see how we can go. I am the only one able to survive.
You have any spells that might be of assistance to us?
We don't, do we?
Oh, to stay together going through the portal?
No, I want
No.
you to say staying
Martha?
together. I was assuming if we have water breathing,
We
I had an
do.
idea of maybe we can use like a glowstone or something to shine light and maybe be able to find each other. If we're in distance and if we look around and can't see each other, we might not be anywhere near each other.
I could cast a spell to allow you to breathe, but it doesn't even last half a day, a few hours. We could explore.
It would give us time to test and maybe find each other.
You
The
think
question would be if we could travel through each other's portals. If, let's say, we could find each other,
see
you
what you're
framed
saying.
me, could you travel through my portal back to here? Or
I
if,
agree. It
because it sounds like
probably
we were all seeing the same kind of ruined elven city underwater. We were
Well,
just in
Bart
separate locations.
there weren't
Bart was
any.
seeing a dwarven city.
Dwarves, you say?
This looked like an ancient dwarven city from what little I know of them, and a fairly distinct statue depicted dwarven instead of an elvish form.
You know what it may have reminded you of, Bart, would be the last time when you saw a stone dwarf, which was many moons ago, where the dwarves had been turned to stone in
Yeah.
Talmanthar. This larger version of the dwarf would have probably hearkened to some memory of that. But
He might shudder a little bit visibly thinking about Medusa, but
Yeah, that was
but
many episodes ago.
this one was certainly much larger in scale, and certainly one that would have been crafted by their hand versus what you
No, a giant dwarf.
previously saw. But
because yeah, there was the Telmanthar and Myth Nantar, right?
yes, and Talmanthar was a fully dwarven ancient civilization, and Myth Nantar is something that Kurza has studied a lot and would have shared, is a blended civilization that includes dwarves and elves.
So nod.
And then
Yes.
Sahar, and you. Oh yeah, you saw the
It is.
Elvish one.
I'm with you. Tend to believe maybe the portal takes us to different areas of the same city. I'm
I'm
wondering with what Bart's reporting if we are actually going to different places and why.
That's that's why I'm curious. If we go there, maybe with a hold breath, we would be able to at least be there for 10 minutes, enough to hold up a glowing stone. If you have a
That's what I'm
continual light,
thinking. We're on the same path. We all go in with the glowing stone and see if we can see each other.
that's right.
Yeah.
And if we can see it, worst case, we can go back through the portal, communicate, or hide it, or maybe that's what we'll do. We'll hold it out if we have two stones and hide it, show it, something like that in some series to signal.
Who had that? Was that Molly's character that actually had?
Or
Well, the humans did. So Bart had
Yeah,
Yeah.
one, and
Bart's
Okay.
got
Mithra had one. I don't know if Griff did or not. I can't remember if Griff did, but
maybe
Well,
we
we can
don't
cast a
have.
couple more light spells. Those are simple.
Do I have a light spell? I don't think I have the light
I know
spell.
continual light is brighter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. It's permanent spell.
My only caution with that is we might be attracting attention to ourselves. Sharks,
Don't
squids,
swim. Yeah. Don't get
dragon
far from the
turtles.
portal. I would say just let's swim in and if we're above the city when we step through the portal. We're not. Were we physically on the streets, Jamie, or were we floating above?
no, you're like on a hillside or a mountainside, looking down on your respective area.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do we think?
So
You guys want to go forward with the signal plan?
yeah, we're gonna need a water breathing and a continual light at least. And Saharn and either Bart or Nod can check with that.
Bart cannot cast continual light. I can assist with the water breathing then.
And not cast continual light.
You should be able
What about
to.
you,
It would be
Saharn?
granted to you. It's like a sphere thing. Is it outside of your sphere?
Yeah, it's.
Okay, okay.
I'm not done with the alteration stuff.
It's part of the sacrifice
Really?
that you made to be the specialist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget.
Yep.
There's a couple of spheres I can't do either. But
But yeah, No, I can help the Minotaurs and myself with being able to breathe, Sahar, if you want to take care of crafting the devices to use as signals.
Did two of you go together? We're together in the portal, right? Because
Oh,
I can
me and
cast
Tornik.
3 devices. All right.
I
So I
can
can make
actually
3. If we don't already have one, that we won't have enough for all 4 people, which is fine.
Tornik will go through with me, I think, if he comes back with us, but we'll water breathing everybody at that, or at least 3. So we
All
can
right.
keep it to a 2 if we only allow 2 to go through.
All right. So Jamie, I'm gonna grab
Ooh,
around here, find 4 nice, basically hand-sized, fist-sized rocks. Give
one of
off a
those
nice
rocks,
little
will
light.
you do one of my darts?
Mm,
Yes,
okay.
sure.
So dart
So
and a
2
few
rocks,
rocks.
2
Hmm.
rocks, 2 rock. Yeah, it's 3 spells, which is just that'll use up all my 3rd level powers for the day. But let's test this out.
Yeah.
Make a couple of stones, give one to Bart, and we'll try
Right.
this experiment when Bart's ready with the water breathing.
We get 6 hours of water breathing. I can cast it on
There you go.
three of us. I need one for myself, and if Tornok is going as well, that would be all of them.
Yeah.
All right. So if we make it through and you see the glowing light, one flash means you're good. Like you hide it and bring it back out. 3 flashes means not good, or maybe come here. Any decisive things, and maybe 5 flashes is go back in the portal, and maybe we'll flop that around so less flashes in emergencies. 3 flashes to run into the portal. 5 flashes for confirmation.
How about this? We're gonna do a mid-session break right here, and you guys can figure that detail out real quick or whenever, and we'll come back in a few minutes and
Sure.
execute. Cool.
Sounds great. Thank you all. Be right back.
Here, I've been thinking, if we go there and we can't see light, we just come back anyway, right?
Apologies for not hearing you.
Oh, you're right. I'm just thinking out loud too. We go through, we don't see light, we come back. We go through, we see each other's light. We should test it by
I
shining
think
it or flickering
yeah,
it, basically.
Sahar can swim around for a little bit as long as I don't lose my way from the portal.
If we have 2 hours of breathing, it should, in theory, be able to get to each other. So the safest way to do it would be for you to go to people. So if you see a light, maybe you flash your light 5 times, or
How do we
maybe we can.
flash it?
Yeah, you can cover it with your robes or something to bring the light out. Show it, hide it, show it, hide it. For
Sure,
example, five
sure.
times, and that would be come swim closer.
Okay,
3 is run away. 3 is retreat. 5 is Sahar is coming to whatever light source he sees, and from there, if one of us, for example, I don't see either of your lights, I will come back through and just wait for the 30 minutes or whatever it is going to be. We'll say we'll aim for 30 minutes, and we'll aim for 30 minutes. If it shouldn't be gone for more than an hour, but aim for 30 minutes. Say that even then that might be too much, because in an hour you could be dead.
we've got technically 6 hours of breathing. You guys do, but
I'm more
um,
thinking about if we bring a light to a dark place, it is more than likely going to attract attention.
yes,
We will see it as well. So it will attract attention, good and bad.
yes. Hopefully, there's nothing here but sea animal. And
So one thing I was thinking I could do with the dart is plausibly throw it. If we do see each other, I could technically throw the dart.
not,
Maybe
not underwater.
I'm
Don't think.
fairly strong. I'm pretty strong.
Yeah,
Not maybe throwing it as far as a human would throw a ball at that point underwater. It's hard to say. And it's a dart too, so it is aerodynamic. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I think it fit as a stabbing weapon. But I'm just going to
It,
go in and see if I can find you within a few minutes of time.
And if people can see the light, worst case we leave, and we'll again aim for 30 minutes to return at most. Like maybe we should limit it to 15 and at most 30. At 30, let's assume something's wrong. 15 minutes, we should reconvene.
Sounds
If you
good.
think if you can't think you can make it there swimming, quote unquote, in 15 minutes,
Oh,
um,
I've got a good swim speed, so yeah.
we're just assuming if you can't make it there in 15, then maybe turn back. Or if you think you can make it there relatively safely before your 30 minutes, then we should be fine. But
Yep.
safety first, but we want to test because the whole point of this is just to test if we can see each other. So if we go there and can't see, we just return a couple minutes, no problem.
Yeah. We're just trying to make sure we're in the same place and not going
Right.
to different parts of the realm or some other plane of existence.
All right. I think we're. Sounds like there's a plan coming together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
We have a little plan. I don't
Um,
intend on following it, but
three. The game plan: 3 flashes of runaway, 5 flashes means Sahar is going to swim to whatever light he sees closest, or attempt to. Again, safety first. We're planning for at most 15 minutes. Come back 30 minutes. We're going to assume you're dead.
yep. And if you see my stone fall into the ocean floor, that means I'm in combat. Come quick.
If we see stones, yeah. If we see light,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. If we see light, 3 flashes is run. I don't know what's there. If we see your stone start sinking, we might assume you got attacked by a kraken or dragon turtle
I don't know. Jamie's probably sitting there going, they're overthinking.
or the sharks.
No, I
Oh,
well,
sharks. Yeah, he's
want you
prepping
guys
the
to.
shark.
I want you. Want you
If
guys
it
to
is
be
full,
comfortable with
full
your
of sharks.
decision. That's all.
He's prepping the boulet of the sea.
Piranha.
Now you're planting seeds, and I like it.
Really? Yes. Underwater version of the Fang Dragon.
All right, so I guess then what's the plan if someone wants to summarize this? You're stepping through right now at the same time, simultaneously. You've all got some way of signaling each other.
We all got the water breathing except for Tornik. Tornik can stay here, so we're not wasting an extra spell.
Okay, so Tornik stays
We'll tell him we'll
behind.
be back.
Okay. He's like the new elder. Okay.
This
So
is now your portal.
he will guard the portal and the three of you will step through. Okay.
I'm gonna,
Once again, you guys step
Mhm.
through and you feel that tug and pull at you. I'm gonna actually have you guys start making these rolls. So for each of you, every time you step through the portal, you've got to give a percentile roll, please.
excuse me.
All right, so you all end up back at the place you previously were when you step through, and you see the same thing in front of you, but no one beside you. So you're all underwater, but you're able to breathe fairly easily, and you start signaling, trying to hold these, I guess, the rocks. What are you doing? Just like holding them above your head or moving them around a
Yeah.
little bit or something?
I think at first we're just holding them just to see if we can see any of the other lights
Okay.
Eh,
before we start trying to signal. We're just not trying to draw too much attention, but shine the light so we can see each other.
Yep. Saharn will swim up and away from the portal, trying to keep it in sight distance, watching around to see if I can spot my friend's lights.
All right. Think.
Trying to gain altitude, so to speak, thinking I will have a better vantage point.
All right. I think we got this now. So I'm gonna move you guys. Actually, we'll leave it here for a second. I'll just put us onto one of the views here of the underwater area. Okay, so we'll start here. This is the view that Bart would have from basically standing on the side of an underwater mountain range and looking down on this area. Bart, you can make a, guess this is going to be wisdom again. There's no real other skill for spotting or noticing a light in the distance. Okay. All right. And one more, please. All right. So the As the way it's situated here, you're going to notice the light, let's call it from this perspective, it would be due east. Pretty much due east. You see what you think might be the light spell that Sahar had cast. Maybe flickering up on a hillside ledge. And in the other direction, you're kind of looking, you don't really spot anything at first, but then suddenly you do see what appears to be another flicker coming from the southeast. So both to your east, one slightly northeast, but mostly east, the other southeast. For Sahar, you can also go ahead and roll 2 wisdom checks, please.
I can. Let me bring up my character sheet. And it is loading, and wisdom 1. Barely, but it's made it.
Okay.
Wisdom 2. Totally made it.
All right. So Harn, you actually see a light coming to your west, almost due west, but you don't see any other light that you recognize. So that you think that might be potentially one of the lights. So you see one of them.
Far away? Near?
It
Far?
is pretty far away in distance. It is about maybe 2 miles away that you're seeing this little flicker.
That far. The city is that vast.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Nod, you can go ahead and roll yours from your vantage point. You've got a different point of view. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Nod, one of these flickering lights as well. And it is due north of you. So I think you've all taken a hard look and seen what you can see. Bart, 2 lights, the other's 1 light, and you have some bearing on that. What would you like to do? In fact, let me go ahead and move us over to the map here. Is there a way I can conceal? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to basically give you guys the overhead view here of what you're seeing or where you're at and what you're seeing here. So it's a large city essentially that's got different quarters to it, and you've all ended up in a different quarter where you're standing and you're able to get the signal from one another's direction. This is where Saharn is up here. We've got Bart all the way over here in the west, and then down here in the southeast is Nod. So you're on the perimeter of Myth Nantar, looking into these different quarters from your various drop points. So that's
Which light do I see, Jamie? I'm going
you.
to start swimming towards it.
You see the Nod. You basically see where Nod is at. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to start swimming in that direction. Quick as I can with a movement rate of 15.
Okay. Let's see. 1 second here.
I feel good. I get to soak my skin. Been a while since we fought
Yes,
that.
indeed, it has been. All right. Let's see.
What did we fight in the cavern hallway there with the slimy water that we dove into? Which was, yeah, I'm glad I got that off.
Aboleth, Abeloth.
The Aboleth. Yes, the Aboleth.
Okay, so you started swimming south. Are you making any attempt to keep yourself hidden or
No.
just making a straight line? Okay.
Yep.
What
Yep.
what
Probably foolish, but here we go.
what are you going to be doing, Nod?
I'm just gonna be holding my light, keeping it up so he can see it and it's clearly visible.
Okay.
Maybe flashing it 5 times.
Bart, what are you going to be doing here?
Couple of things. Bart's trying to watch and see. I don't know if he'd noticed the lights moving at this point then, or
You can make a roll to see if you see notice the light moving.
Nope.
sure.
I intend, Bart,
Yeah,
I'm just going to hold mine straight out and swim.
you would definitely see the northern light, or from your perspective, the eastern light moving southward. Yep. Might
Bart's
be.
wondering to himself why we just didn't give Nod something and cast locate object to figure out where it is.
That would have been a win.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, he's I guess just
You could
observing
still
for the
use
moment.
locate object. I
Yeah.
mean, you definitely would be familiar with some of his objects.
I don't know if you can cast anything under the water or not though.
Yeah, I think you can. I don't know that there's any limitation there. It's just obviously your movements are slower,
Uh,
but I don't think it
yeah,
changes much else.
might be garbled and yeah. At least then Bart would know who was who. So yeah, he might do that and maybe thinking about some of Nod's darts. I guess might be the easiest thing he might be more familiar with to recall.
Okay. All right.
I never thought about this, but can we even speak to each other underwater? Suppose with water breathing, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that
That's
affects
going
your
to be up to
speech. That's
you.
a good
Maybe
question.
1 hour.
That's going to be up to you.
Let's see. Yeah, I think with given the water breathing spell, it's more of since it's a magical effect. I think that you would be given the ability to speak along with that. So I don't envision it being the same as holding your breath. I think it's more like you're breathing air underwater. For those of you that are
Fun,
doing the magical effect.
fun
Looks
note.
like
Water walk actually, if you cast it while under the water, what does it say? If cast while under the water, the recipient will be borne toward the surface, if that's ever of any use.
Might save a life. Our world just went dark.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to correct something here. I think it's.
I can tell where I am because I can still.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, I see. It's. Huh. Oh, okay. It's not gonna let me do what I'm trying to do here. So I'll flip this back. You should see it in a second, but there we go. I think that's better. Okay, so Sahar, you're moving in that direction. You're able to swim pretty swiftly. You're moving above the city. Bart's kind of following or tracking that. I think if you're using a locate object, then you can get a sense of exactly where Nod is, and he is from your direction about 2 miles southeast. So you can begin to kind of swim. I don't know what your swimming ability is really. I think your movement would be very limited unless you're sinking to the bottom and walking along the bottom. Then maybe your movement would be a little bit quicker. What do you think you're? How do you think you're going to get about?
I think we were gonna go. We were gonna rely on Saharn to come towards one of the lights versus
Okay, so you're going to
all of us trying to move around. So yeah,
stand
I'm
still.
mostly just observing, trying to watch out, make sure there's nothing
Okay, yeah, all right.
dangerous in the vicinity. Or
Then just as a game question, guys, what are we going to do here?
see if you can come through one of the portals.
We got to apparently Myth Nantar.
This was truthfully just a science experiment
Okay,
to see if
yeah,
we were in the same place, and now we
yeah.
are trying to two birds one stone while we're here, seeing if you can come through this portal.
yep.
Therefore, we might be able to come to a place, search, explore, and then leave, or hopefully find a way where we can stay here.
Got it. Then I guess Harn, let's have you just roll some dex checks. If you could roll 2 dex checks.
Oh, is it to my detriment if I fail? Because then I don't want to. All right. Didn't seem to be coming through. There we go. Oh, I have a decent dex. I blew that by 1. All right. I failed the first check.
Okay. All right. So you're able to make your way across this vast elven quarter. Again, just seeing how large this particular area was and how developed it was. In the distance, you can see some different looking structures to the west. And eventually, when you make your way, you can see the main thoroughfare and how it's dividing the city into the quarters. And then in this trade district, you would now be looking at the same thing that Nod was essentially, and begin to make your way across the trade quarter, at which point I'm going to have both Bart and Nod roll wisdom checks.
You have fortune, but
So Bart, you passed yours. You feel like you see some. It looks like some figures have popped up and appear to be following the light. They are more. I'll drop a couple on here so you can see. Let's see. Okay, I'll just use this. So just maybe after a few moments of the light passing by, Bart, you see these other figures that have popped up, and there's distinctly at least 3 of them that appear to be moving in the same direction as the flickering light was. Nod, you don't notice any of that. You just see your friend's getting closer, and he's definitely now in the trade quarter, making his way across the trade quarter. And you guys can now reach out and grab and pull him up there to the ledge that you're standing on with the portal behind you. Nod, you can make a perception check, or I'm sorry, Sahar, you can make a wisdom check now.
All right. Opening up the character sheet again. I should probably just keep that thing open. There we go.
Yeah, upon looking back in the direction that you came from, Sahar, you see some figures that appear to be following the path that you took.
Humanoid?
Humanoid looking, yes.
Oh, how many?
Swimming, 3 of them. They're far enough away that you don't know exactly what they are, but they are tracking you.
I'll try to keep watch on them and keep moving as fast as I can towards my friend.
So you've reached the
Oh,
ledge.
where's the ledge?
You're
All
there.
right.
Your
I
back's
point
to
them
the
out.
portal.
Point them out. Make sure my friends
you,
can see them.
maybe Nod did not see him, so now that you're pointing him out, maybe he'll flash some lights towards Bart in his way, like 3 of them. Maybe it's time to retreat.
So you're going to send the
So,
signal, the retreat signal to Bart?
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe I'll look towards Sahar and tell him to wait, maybe get closer to the portal. I'm more interested to see if it will allow him through, because I don't want to walk through first and he's not there. Technically, I could always walk back through, but
Can I see Bart's light in the distance?
Try a wisdom check here. See if you're able to spot that now. It's different point of view here. No, you're not able to see Bart.
I'll say to Nod, I cannot tell if Bart is safe.
Yeah, and neither could Nod. He couldn't see him either. You guys were the 2 that could see each other. He could see both of you, and you didn't know that. Yeah.
but I did notice the figures behind
Yes. Yeah.
Sahar as well. Were they matching his speed, or were they attempting to gain on him as he approached where Nod was? Or
I think disturbingly, they have a similar speed. They move just as quick as Sea Elf.
without proper communication, Bart might actually flash the retreat signal to go back through the portal and converse with God. Speaking of forgetting names, our Minotaur friend.
Tornuk.
Yes, and see if he might go through the portal to warn Nod, I guess, if he would be his next move.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So you pop out,
He'd
and you need to roll a percentile.
percentile.
And yeah, so you pop into the room. Tornuk is standing there, and you tell him what?
I tell him, I guess what I've seen, that Sahar was swimming, but he was followed. I don't really know if he is aware of this or not, but if he can't come back through this portal, they may encounter trouble, and he may need help getting back to his own portal. We don't know how these function yet. Ask him if he might take one of my water breathing spells and go through to see if any assistance is needed. Or actually, yeah.
Of course, I will. If they are in danger, I will step through. So if you cast that on him, then he would step through, and
Yep.
for Nod and Saharn, you would see figure emerge from the portal, and it would be
so
Tornuk.
that's what it looks like.
And Tornuk would be, I guess, at this point, surveying the area. I'm gonna see if he sees the figures.
Yeah, I would like to know if they're getting closer.
He does see the figures, so he steps through, kind of surveys and points to the danger, kind of reiterating that Bart told me they are following you. We should step through to strategize.
Can not use danger sense to see if they are dangerous, if they feel like we're in any immediate danger from them.
Sure. Yeah, it's just not clear. It's not clear from where you're at.
They're totally friendly.
Yeah, look, they're smiling.
It's the welcome party.
Yeah, yeah. Look, they have candy. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm good on candy. Beer, say.
You have enough. You have enough already, sir. How drunk can a Minotaur be? We could find that out.
yeah, that's a good experiment.
That would be a good. Next time we're in town. Yeah, now it's going drinking.
I think last time we had drinks, we were talking about getting matching tattoos.
So where do you?
Or that was the bar.
Oh, we got enough of that problem going on already.
Yeah, these guys are gonna get closer. They're gonna start closing the distance on you, and
Can I identify them?
from this distance, I was gonna say, yeah, if you guys want to try another wisdom check, the three of you can try to get a better look.
Are they at all familiar? Do I get a bonus if they're like, oh, look at that.
I don't think you need a bonus.
Yeah, nailed it.
Sahar, as they are coming in here, let me.
Not only can I tell what they are, but I can give you their names and addresses.
Blood types and everything.
Yep.
For sure. Let's see. I got this
If
on.
there's any such thing as a crit success on a perception check. Oh,
All right.
yeah, I'm yawning at people.
So I don't think I'm not. I don't remember exactly. But I don't think you would have seen these guys specifically before. But now that they're swimming towards you, you definitely get a good view of them, and they appear to be the notorious Sahuagin. But there's
Yeah, not
something a little different about these Sahuagin that appears unnatural, even for as wicked as a Sahuagin is. These appear to be an unnatural version of Sahuagin that
are they glowing?
tracing your movements. So they're closing in, and
They look like undead Sahuagin to me.
what do you guys do? Do you stay to engage with them, or do you try to slip out of the portal?
I'm going to signal to back up to the portal. We're not that far away. We're only like you haven't moved really, right? Not
No, he hasn't gone anywhere.
so
Yeah.
we're at the portal. We could slip through any time.
The right. The question is if you can go through the portal. So the question is, do we fight while we're all three here and not try to play musical portals, or do we just all run back through and then try to come up with a better plan?
Far away are they, Jamie?
Let's see. I have them
Closing?
on the map. They are.
We figure we have a minute, half a minute, a few seconds.
Yeah, they're about a quarter mile away. So you have maybe a minute, 2 minutes to decide
I'll
or
test.
act.
I'll test the portal. If I can swim to it and then just reach through to see if I can pass the
No,
barriers.
don't have full commit.
Say that again. You want me to just go through?
Yeah, like you do have to walk like into it for it to do anything.
You stick your hand in, you might not get your hand back.
But if you're
Oh,
gonna do that, go ahead and roll a percentile when you do.
all right. I'm taking Nod's advice and I'm just gonna go through the portal. But here we go.
Okay, so yeah, you go through, you walk through, you feel the wind in your face for a millisecond, and then suddenly you're standing back on the staircase next to Bart.
All right.
He made it,
Yeah,
Bart.
Forget
and
the
then
other guy's name, but the Minotaur should be right behind me.
yeah, nod will kind of nod towards the portal to Tornok and follow behind.
Yeah, and then I'll tell Bart what we identified them as Sahuagin, but
All
they
right.
seem strange. Don't know why. Oh,
And let's see. All right. So yes, you all step through and wind up back on the stairs after a brief moment. And you've proven that the portal does bring you back. It did bring Sahar through and back to the same location.
I'd like to test something. I wonder if we can use will to appear in any of the portals. In other words, if we're not thinking about anything, we're just going to the city, you end up where your alignment takes you. But if I specifically thinking about the portal Nod was at, if I step back through the portal quickly, where do I end up? Where I originally started or where Nod came in? I'm focusing my mind on trying to go through that portal and then materialize there with that word.
Let's see.
I'm not worried about ending up back where I was. If that happens, I'll have enough time to just jump backwards.
The way that I'm gonna roll on it is it's gonna be a charisma check, and based on the fact that you're trying to imitate a neutral, so Nod would be basically like 2 positions removed from you, alignment wise, because you are chaotic good. And so I would think neutral good would be between you and then neutral. So he's 2 shifts in alignment difference from you. So if you roll a charisma check, it will have a -2. So you've got to beat it by 2 or more.
So
2 or
let's
1 would
see.
fail, in other words, or anything else.
So I'm setting a modifier penalty of -2,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
All right, there we are.
We do have fortunes if you trail with risky.
So as you step
Oh,
through it,
I mean, we only have an hour.
would
yeah,
If
it
that,
would bring you straight back to where you were
less.
in the Elven quarter.
All right. So there's okay. Then I'm just going to stick.
Okay.
It answers a tactical question. We're going to go through and we're all going to end up in different places again.
in
There's no way
theory,
to control it. That's what.
yeah,
Yeah. We
not
can't control.
intentionally. It's still the will of the portal.
It's not
Unless
reliable. Yeah.
it's all right. If I convince you of the blessings of Valkyr, you can all convert. How's that? Like, I don't know how Bart thinks about that. But okay. You can
You
change
must be assimilated.
that. Yes.
This is priest
Just
to
a
priest
band.
stuff. This is like deep. This would be deep
Oh
conversation
my
here.
God.
Talking
Your
about the
God's
old
just.
gods and the new gods and the
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
It's nice enough, God. Bart doesn't have enough moxie when it really come over to Valkyr. We got cookies.
Yeah, so you guys are on the steps. You definitely activated something. You were followed. And yeah, so you have a moment here to decide what you wanted to do.
The portal's still trapped, right? We still have a glyph on there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
Is
glyph.
there? Yeah, yeah. So we know the word, so we can. But if anything comes through there, we at least got that going right away. I suggest we just move back from the steps and wait. And I don't know. Figure out what we're looking for in Myth Nantar. I don't,
So thinking of it, there might be an easier way. I know going back down out the labyrinth, down where we came from, like up through the Underdark, there was another passage to Myth Nantar. So in theory, taking that one, we would be able to stay all together and get to Myth Nantar. But there is no telling where that will take us, or what's along the way.
Tactically
Yeah.
speaking, it's a better option for us to stay together.
Just imagine what this portal would be like if you had their full group.
Oh
All
my
kinds of
goodness.
different. There might be more together. You might have another neutral good, or
Yeah, you would have another
the
neutral good. I think you may have a few more people on the dwarven quarter. I don't know that there's any other chaotic good. I think that might be. Yeah.
Come on, it's the
medieval good.
only way of philosophy of life, guys.
Agreed. Agreed. Chaotic
Right?
good's the best way.
It's the
Agreed.
best. You don't want to be lawful good because then you have to follow all the rules. What about the ones you don't want to? Yeah, I don't want to be neutral good. Just too nice, sucker.
What it
Would never do anything bad. Never say a bad word. That's boring. Chaotic good.
So I think the choices are either to try to figure out a way to use this portal and convene somehow, or as Nod was suggesting, to go back down and try to go through another entrance physically together so that you can be together as you enter Myth Nantar.
One thing I'm
Um,
sure that we would have discussed is how vast Myth Nantar was from above. It could be even more intricate and mazy below.
there's like we could. I wonder if we might try to converse with the Djinn in the portal to see if
Maybe
any
he
assistance
can help
could
escort us
be.
to the same spot.
If he's able to affect somehow the powers of the portal to help direct us together.
That just might be where your heart takes you. That's what he meant by that.
Our heart belongs together.
Yeah, we're not of the same heart. Same mind, maybe, but
Yeah, you're welcome to try to make contact or communicate with the Djinn as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think Bart might stare around and see if he's still in there, if he can find his attention somewhere.
Okay, yeah, sure. How about let's do a wisdom check for Bart. We'll see what appears.
On a positive note, we know we are all together in the
Wow.
general.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Yeah, he's
The wisdom checks have finally dropped off.
We got astonishing fortunes too. If you want to roll one of them, we got three of them.
It's up to you guys if you want to try and
Yeah.
redo it for
Well, we
this.
got like 45 minutes left. Why not?
All right. Here we go.
The first one of the game gone. There we go. Definitely worth
All
it.
right.
all right. Yeah, so I think that you would notice the tail end of the Djinn chasing off these dark spirits in the portal and in that plane where he's making sure that your connections are happening correctly, and so he eventually would be done chasing them off and maybe be visible again, where you might be able to try to make eye contact or something with him to get his attention. How about a charisma check? Let's see if you're able to appeal to him and get his attention. First with
This will
just
be
noticing him.
harder. I'm not the one he really wants to talk to, apparently.
So he's definitely there. You sense him helping you. He's continuing to be an ally, but at this point he's not communicating.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, he's just not taking your call, so to speak.
Sure. Did Sahar notice or theorize that they were like zombie-looking Sahuagin, or were we not? Was he not sure?
just said there was something odd about them.
Okay.
I don't know. Judging from the icons, though, they weren't really glowing, were they, Jamie?
No, but they did appear to be unnatural. Like I said, they appeared to be undead. Yeah.
Yeah,
We could.
Yep.
my friend, I have no power over undead.
We do have the ability to grant invisibility to such creatures. Or I do, at least.
Invisibility to undead?
In
Oh.
invisibility to undead. Yeah.
Wow.
How long does that last?
Damage. There's the duration. 6 rounds.
6 rounds.
Oh,
So not. It's sounds like
That's
mostly an escape avenue for combat, really. But
So neither of you can turn undead, though, so to speak, like in the traditional way.
right.
no, I have. That was one of the things. I have no ability to turn undead, Jamie. We created this. I have almost no experience with undead being an aquatic elf. It's not a thing.
Yeah, makes sense. You could continue to use the portal or wait here or plan B, C.
But I'm for plan B, guys. I don't think as quick as those things spotted me when I was moving.
the light was the giveaway.
True, but without a light, can we find? Is it light enough for us to find each other? I
Well,
guess that was
you've got dark
yeah, we can
vision, so
see it.
you don't have much problem, I don't think. I think the Bart
We
would be the only one with difficulty seeing.
And I'm assuming you might be able to navigate your same route as you took before.
as you described it, Jamie, they're totally dark. There's some natural light that lights
Yeah,
up this
yeah,
area.
yeah. There is,
Yeah.
there is. So you could certainly try it again without the light, and also, again, you weren't making really any effort to stay hidden. So
No,
if you lose the light and you make some effort to stay hidden, you do feel like you could navigate your way back. That doesn't seem like the problem. Just making sure you stay out of view is the problem.
it's still a risk. I'd say we
Go
go
down.
back down the tunnel.
I'm fine with that. That sounds reasonable.
That way we're always together.
It beats having to waste spells just to get in. If we have more people, we would have to waste more spells just to all breathe, not including any other thing that we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and I want to prevent us from getting caught up in individual combats a mile apart from each other. We're not together. That could be failure right there.
That's why I was considering while we were there together with at least being evenly matched numbers wise. I mean, that might have been a time to take rid of and have three less bodies to deal with later.
In my
And
life
this was
experience, Jamie, Sahuagin, can I generally outswim those guys?
That's a good
I
question.
run
Let me see.
I have a 15 speed.
Let me grab this real quick and double check. There's
I mean,
they're a little faster than you then.
Sahuagin are faster than I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that makes me more afraid rather than confident.
and we were coming here to follow Baden, right? Because he took all the research material, and this is where he
Yeah.
was going, though, wasn't it?
I doubt he will take the portals. I think he would encounter the same scenario.
Okay.
If you want to
So
Myth
this,
Nantar,
yeah, to find him and get the stuff back that he took, I believe, and
We might find his body somewhere, Adam.
on the way to the other.
yeah, that would
Who knows? Who knows?
But it seems like without some kind of, we do need a way to enter all in the same place. At least then we could make small incursions into the city together if we needed to.
Okay.
Instead of spending time trying to get together carefully. So yeah, I guess back through
Okay.
the maze to some place that we can enter more of our own volition.
write together more reliably. At least if we die, we'll die together comparatively to being split apart.
Yeah. Do we, after expending all these spells here and stuff, do we want to regroup for a rest before we try and move on, or
After that long swim, Sahar might need to rest that 2 mile
yeah?
swim. No, that's everyday natural things for Sahar.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
it might have felt rejuvenating for Saharan just to be back in the water for that long, but
yeah,
yeah,
we
it's
probably
more a
wasted.
spell. It's more of a spell recovery rest than anything.
Just 8 hours to pray to your gods.
Yeah, I
Recover
mean,
spells.
at the most, after our rest, we spent time talking about this too much. I can't imagine that we're more than 3 hours into our day anyway.
And it's not really a rest, it's
Yeah,
more you're
no.
taking time to rememorize your spells.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Then we can
Well,
see
So
if those
me and
things
Tornus
try
are
and
going to
follow
enjoy it
you.
here.
I'm only out of third level spells, guys. I have first, second handy.
Oh yeah, I suppose this is what it's an hour per level
First spell or the 8 hour rest space
or something
between.
like that, or the priest
Well,
just gets some.
priests just need to be rested and pray.
Yeah.
I think that hour and that would, I mean, whoever played with that anyway, is ridiculously long for mages to recover spells, man. Isn't it like 15 minutes per spell level? A third level spell takes
I think it's 10.
45.
I thought it was 10, but maybe it's 15. Somewhere in
Maybe
there.
it's 10, but even then, it would take a full half hour just to recover one spell. If you're trying to
Third level. Yeah.
memorize like
Yeah.
7 spells, and some of them are 6th level, you're going to spend an entire day as a mage just learning, studying spells before you even step out the door.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I mean, if you just want, we can even say 8 hours to pray or whatever. It doesn't. Not has plenty of rations. We have endless supply of water.
yeah,
Sure. I'd feel a little better about that if we're heading back to some potentially dangerous places. Yeah.
At that point, I will mark off some more weight on my ale because me and Tornik are enjoying some ale. Are y'all enjoying some ale?
yes.
All right, I'll mark down a little bit more weight.
All right. We should probably have someone keep a watch on the portal just in case those things do
Uh-oh.
try to follow us.
Here comes the punishing rolls.
Actually, these are actually really good rolls for you guys. So this is going to be a very uneventful evening, unfortunately, including with the portal side. Nothing really appears. There's no noise that's detected. Time rolls by slowly, and eventually you're able to get a full night's rest, replenish spells, and anything else that you needed to do. So we're back to full up on the next day.
Easy peasy. Let's set a marching order, guys. In front, clerics behind, and boldly go back down that hallway.
Maybe
Our
the
way
Minotaur
back.
in the back. We'll do a cleric sandwich, Minotaur sandwich.
I think this one's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Sure.
makes sense.
Sure.
All right, Nod, if you want to lead the way, then I'll move Tornuk and the other guys can stay between.
Where are you?
I'm halfway down the hall.
There you are.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, so you can continue to make your way back. You guys are walking back through, retracing your steps when you continue to go. Let's see. Yeah, you keep going. You can keep going, Nod.
It's out of sight. I've lost him.
All right, yeah. So you guys follow him down to this area here. And Nod, this is when you don't even have to roll for this because you're a Minotaur. That you could tell that the labyrinth has changed. The configuration of the labyrinth is different than when you entered.
Hey, this wall wasn't here before.
Are we lost?
No, I know my way. Just follow me.
Right.
Oh, that wall was there. Yeah, that wall was there. I ran into it.
God, he's got the ale.
Oh my goodness, there's another wall over here. This wall wasn't here either.
Are we trapped?
No. Oh, hi, Tornik. You scared me.
So let's have you guys roll wisdom checks here. This is a good
Stop
spot.
it.
I would say Nod has an easy way to get through this wall.
At least they're wisdom checks. We got a fair chance of making those as a group effort. Look at that.
Okay, yeah. So Nod and Bart are able to. You guys may piece together as you're turning this corner up here that this wall looks like a false wall, and I'm gonna move you
Be
guys
honest with you.
through it. You guys find this area here that lets you through. You should be over here, Sahar. See, it's like that.
Yeah, I couldn't get myself through.
There you go. And so yeah, the walls that had closed in on the other configuration, and now this way you find. And I don't remember, you were here a long time ago. Don't remember how long ago, but it's been a while.
When we first got here, I think that's when I was writing. Let's see my chalk mark.
You around the corner already? Oh, you guys are way ahead.
Yeah, chalk marks are there.
And so yeah, you continue to follow this. It doesn't look like anything else is passed this way much, so that it does look like you would have remembered it.
There's a wall here. The maze keeps changing, guys.
Designed to keep you trapped forever, isn't it?
That's all right. I think we just have to go the long way. I was trying to go the short way.
Yeah, Tornuk would probably be just in the same boat as you. Like he could guide you through as well. Like he would know his way pretty well. But yeah, you guys start to follow Nod all the way around here.
Well, One's had too much to drink. I've lost you guys. Oh, there you are. Well, follow the drunken minotaur. That's going to help.
You've seen him run into about 3 walls already.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a new
nothing.
game.
Sounds like a famous last words moment.
It'll be fine. I don't even know where they are.
Further ahead.
I'm just following the pink arrows. Oh, you're way at the top of the screen?
Yes.
I see.
Should be left around the outer edge, basically.
Yep, I got it.
I'll leave a trailer up so you can follow.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
you guys would have a system, I'm sure, worked out by now where Nod would be relaying back to you exactly what's happening. So,
I just did have Bart's token. Are we going back up to the cave here, or
Almost. I saw you slip through the door
deeper
over here.
into the maze? I see.
Nod might stop here. Take a sip of water.
I
Pass
got
it
you.
along.
yeah, and you're getting. Okay, I see where you're at. It's like his going back to, once again, the scene of the crime where you lived for so long and now you're making your way back through with some urgency so you don't stay here any longer.
I feel like I'm exploring the basement of the North Shore Theater here in town, where I used to know a guy who used to live there in the basement of this old theater.
Ta-da!
Mm.
I
Nice.
told you. I could do it.
I can't seem to cross the wall here, Jamie.
See, I'll move you down here.
Careful.
Yes, that wall. Oh, there we are.
All right.
Screwed it around the edge. I got it.
Yeah, so you've made your way around. You've made it back to the. And again, nothing else changed. Like, in other words, you didn't see any other tracks or anything like that, any signs of anyone else. But you had heard that movement before pretty clearly when you were on watch the prior night. So it sounded like there were footsteps, and you were keeping an extra eye open to see if there was any sign of what left that. And unfortunately, your whole way around, you didn't see anything that confirmed or denied it. But you've made it back to the passage that leads down. So you guys start to descend, I assume, back towards the middle dark.
Mm,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. Back to the middle dark where we had that intersection.
All right. Good deal. So I think this was double checking. Yeah, it's like this one.
Do we know how to contact the Myconid?
There is he liked music, and
Yeah.
Griff had bought in Pro Camper a music box. And I
'Cause those,
know
yeah.
Griff was trying to communicate with it previously by running the music box. So if that's something like that you wanted to try again or whatever, you could definitely do that. The music box being I would say, transferable item in this instance. Is that something you want to try and do on your way down? Because it is a ways. It's not like right around the corner. There's a
Well,
long,
yeah.
long.
I was just reviewing and trying to remember some of the rumors and observation things, and the Minotaur, getting rid of the Minotaur Master was something that it seems like we had made some
Yeah.
agreement or were asked to do. I wonder if that might be some angle we can ask for assistance or help with things like breathing underwater and
No, that's a good call. I need to step away. I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back, and then we'll follow up on that. 1 second.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to admit to being a little lost as to what our plan is here, gentlemen.
I'm assuming there's another entrance to Myth Nantar, right? This other passageway. I think we saw runes. We uncovered that this was another route to it.
Yeah,
So
because something came out of there a while back before we entered the maze area. Remember, we had to fight something. Was it more Sahuagin? I think so.
it might have been there was a troll, there was a witch or something.
Oh,
She had a cauldron that she threw and exploded on us. But I want to say that was once we went down the stairs. Then we went through the Minotaur maze and we got here.
yep. I know as we were coming back up after the obelisk on our way to the maze, we passed this tunnel. And I think we camped out somewhere before
Oh,
entering the maze, and then we were attacked.
we weren't attacked. We heard some noise and Nod and Griff investigated, and I think it was the
Ah,
Hawkwind. I think it was the
okay.
Hawkwind.
Yeah, okay. We
Sometimes
didn't
you need
fight those that time?
No, because me and Griff didn't quite realize how far we trailed off to investigate them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You've been a long way away. You didn't realize. Okay, I got it.
We're like, oh, yep, let's just back. Nope.
Yeah, that's right. You ran away. Good move.
All right, so if you take some
The two.
time to try to play the music box as you're making your way down through the tunnels here, you may get to a point where I'll have you all do a wisdom check. Okay, there we go. So Saharn, it would be the one here to notice that you do see a figure moving up ahead of you. You're not quite back halfway back towards the entryway, and you see this figure moving further down. Do you
I
want?
warned who's ever in front of me, which is not, I believe. What's that?
Well, throw your stone that way. Yeah, toss your stone that way. Let's see if we can see what it
How
is.
far? Yeah, I'm going to toss. Are we down a tunnel? Is that what we're at? I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to toss
Mm-hmm.
my stone as far towards that whatever I think I saw as I can.
All right. So let's have you roll like an attack roll with that, just to see how close you get it.
An attack roll with an open hand. I think I have that.
That'd be good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Spell hand. Yes, to hit with hand. How about that?
Perfect. Okay.
Oh, good.
You rolled a
The cave wall.
2. You
Rim
rolled a
Yeah,
stalagmite.
2.
yeah.
So I
I was
mean,
bluffing.
you must have really got a bad grip on this thing and just either wildly undershot or wildly overshot. I'm gonna go with the overshot here, so it just like banks and rolls down way further than what you were intending. So it doesn't light him up or it up as it flies by, but
We get a glimpse.
you get a glimpse, and
All right.
you'll hear a voice that you may have recognized that is of your
That
old friend.
mage. The mage.
No,
No.
it's Caprin, who pops out after you guys have made several attempts to reach him. He is found you and steps out into the light. If I don't know, there's not really much light, but into a visible space, I should say. And
There's light. We got two
and
other stones.
yeah,
Glowing dark.
and he says, "It is good to see you have survived and maybe even thrived in the Underdark. It is a rare thing."
Just writing something down.
I'm gonna add your friend Tornok as well to this image, but
I'm retrieving my rock.
I,
This way I can write it on my character sheet. It might come in handy sometime sessions down the road.
I've never quite heard a song like the one you've played. I think he would be fascinated by the music box. He would be drawn to the sound of it and the uniqueness of it, not something he would have seen ever before. It would be like the most exotic thing he's ever imagined that you would be carrying. It would be magical to him. So,
We might mention that
Right.
we bested the Minotaur Master recently and have found our way to the city under the ocean.
all you
Yeah, how does he take the news that we've killed the Minotaurs?
then
Is
you
that exciting? Does that make him happy?
as much as he's not very emotional, right? He doesn't really show a lot of emotion, but when you mention that you've killed the Minotaur, he stops fixating on the music box and definitely looks at all of you with more in contemplative stare. He says that this means that the cap of the Underdark has been removed, and you are moving in the right direction to rid this place of the evils that have entrapped us all.
What
Mo-
we've done, does it make your people more free? Are you able to
We
live better,
we
easier now?
will my kind will not survive at this level, but knowing that it will drive away their evil and their containment of others will help us in the long term. But
What do you mean you will not survive?
my kind must live deep in the Underdark, and the Labyrinth resides near the surface level. It is not a place that we would inhabit, but it is a part of the condition that has caused our world to decay. And since you have rid us of the Watcher, who was the Beholder, many things have developed in the Underdark that you may not be aware of. Not only have the Drow begun to move freely through our world as we feared, but they have began to eradicate some of their enemies, and I'm afraid a lot of blood has been shed in your absence. I know not what happened to your friend, but I could tell you that the Sverfneblin gnomes have been decimated by the recent attacks. But there is one other thing that bears telling, and that is the passing of someone that you may have remembered that you came with before.
The mage.
Your mage friend has passed by. He has come just days ago, passing through the Underdark from the portal in which you made, and behind him he had more than a handful of knights dressed in purple following him. They made their
And
way
he
through
went
the
this way, correct?
entry just below here. So would be the same crossroads that Nod and others saw the Sahuagin traversing that led towards Myth Nantar. He's telling you that Baden and his knights headed that way.
But they were safe and sound when you saw them.
I think when he said passed, he meant like passed by, not deceased.
They passed by
Yep.
and went through that crossroads into towards Myth Nantar in that other direction.
Wasn't the purple Cormyrean?
I know we have our own mission, made our friends' world a little less safe. So I feel we should consider maybe sticking around and clearing out the Underdark as we had promised to Djinn before we move forward on our own quest. What do you guys think of that?
I think we going to Myth Nantar will accomplish that same goal. I think that's part of the corruption that has been leaking into the Underdark has probably been from that direction. That's why they had the Sahar from there.
Yeah, I wonder what you would be thinking about the fact that Baden is now, in one way, he's like ahead of you. He's closer to Myth Nantar than you are at the moment. But what you might be conflicted by is he looking for Myth Nantar or is he looking for us? Like that might be a part of your thinking too. That he ultimately wants to get to Myth Nantar, but the fact that he's traveling with Cormyrean knights makes you a little bit, I think, nervous about the fact that they would still be looking for you all, particularly Kurza. You guys are guilty by association, so.
What? What did you guys do in Cormyr?
There was a barbarian that was jumping around rooftop to rooftop.
This is way before I hooked up with you.
No, this is Pro Camper. This is Pro Camper. This was Pro
Oh,
Camper.
you said Cormyr.
The
Okay, I was.
Cormyreans
Yeah.
were in Pro Camper, visiting Pro Camper on a esteemed visit when they were so rudely assassinated, nearly assassinated by a bunch of random adventurers and shot of a bow of your
Wasn't
wizard
that a
friend.
nat 20?
It was a nat 20.
Was it
It
nat
was a
20?
nat 20. He probably should have Astonishing Fortuned it now that I think about it, but of course I didn't offer.
Because astonishing fortune a great roll just so we don't end up with a fight with nobles and
So you found yourself at another crossroads. You're learning about the fact that the Underdark has been overthrown. It's very much in turmoil, and that also that Baden has passed by very recently with Cormyrean knights, and they've made their way in the towards the ancient entry to Talmanthar. versus the portal. So,
I think we still go for Tel Nantar. We also
or
caused
I'm sorry,
issues
Myth
with
Nantar. Yeah,
Myth Nantar,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
I think we had issues with Baden as well because of us. He ended up robbing a church that brought some of our people back to life, including you, Sahar.
Uh,
They were good people. They
Hmm.
did well, and they were betrayed, and we also have to make up for that as well. So I feel like doing that, with that, we are still able to come back to the Underdark through that passage.
they'll follow bait.
Yep. In a very worst case, even to be faster about it, if we go through and we find a way back to the water, we even know where some of those portals are to get back to here faster.
True.
Okay.
So I still think dealing with Baden first, maybe even being able to theoretically save some of these guys or work with them and explain some of our story of not being able to control ourselves with these said tattoos. We might be able to plead our story and convince them that we're not all bad and it was not intentional.
You have proven a lot already that you are to be trusted, and
But do you guys
we,
trust bait?
we can feel the change of power happening as you continue to slay these wicked enemies. I came across the corpse of the aboleth that you floated in the pond, and again another great evil has been eradicated. So I put my faith in you. I believe that you are headed in the right path. I will keep my eyes open on the Underdark, and when you return, I will give you all that I know to aid you in continuing to clear it of its evil.
Kind of need to catch bait, don't we, gentlemen? Like, we go to Myth Nantar. We really don't know what we're there for or why. He was part of that key, wasn't
Yeah, yeah, he had a lot of knowledge of it. He had expertise on what was there. So, like, when you get there, finding your way around or knowing what existed, he seemed to be the authority on that. Although I'll say this, Kurza has studied a lot of texts about Myth Nantar as well, so he would certainly be an intermediate in knowledge at this point, just given all of the text he's poured over.
he?
So it's yeah, it's your call, obviously. So whatever you guys feel is the best path forward.
I'm with Brandon. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think we've got to at least find him and set those things. I don't know if there's anything specific in Myth Nantar we need, but it sounds like it may be a wealth of potentially good treasure. But
That would
I'm
help
looking
us.
for something that's going to help you guys
yeah,
lead us to mitigating the danger of those marks on your arm, man. We don't need you going crazy.
does Capra know of any? Seeing as he's like closer to these forms than us, of any useful plants or flora that grows here that would assist with breathing underwater? We had found some before. I'll show him
Hmm.
the sea moss and describe
Yeah.
our problems with trying to move around Myth Nantar.
Yeah, I think if you want to ask him for help, he is definitely someone who can quickly scavenge and source materials. So if you want him to try to find more of this, he will seek it out for you.
Yeah, if nothing else, I'd make our
Okay.
water breathing spells last 50% more. Is that what we did before? Or did...
You could also use some healing.
Yeah, you were basically taking it so that you could extend the duration of the water breathing by 50%.
Yeah, I think
So
we use the
you could,
water breathing and then split it. I think part split it between multiple people.
Yeah.
okay, so he's able to acquire 4 doses of it. So you guys can add that to your inventory. That will help boost your duration.
Goes
We
up.
can add that if we want. That'll bring me to a total of 5 doses. I had
Yeah,
one left.
Okay.
hold on to those.
So you guys then can continue to make your way back towards the gateway where you saw the Sahuagin, or several of you saw the Sahuagin, and make that turn and start to head that way. The sort of raw looking cave that you're going through starts to level out and smooth out, and it turns into what now is a a man-made, some type of man-made structure, to where the walls and everything are smoothed over. You're no longer walking in this just natural cave anymore. You're in this, what appears to be, after a while, maybe dwarven structure. And as you're walking a little further, you come across a wall that looks like a gate. Let me bring you to this.
And when you say dwarven, is there any text or symbols or runes or anything on any of these statues?
Yes, yeah, there are. There's on the gate. There are runes on the gate that appear to be ancient dwarven.
Nod does know dwarven,
Okay.
reading and writing, but ancient dwarven not.
Okay, so I'll give
Maybe you
you a
can pick up some
10%
parts.
chance, since I think that would be a good way to do it. We'll do 10% if you want to try to.
Maybe that one. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. So, I'll tell you what. I'll just put an extra 10 right there for this.
So you can't really piece it all together, but it, based on what you're able to eliminate from your understanding, it looks like this may have been part of a dwarven settlement, or an entryway to a dwarven settlement, and it gives some depiction of the sea elves. So it's almost maybe a way that you would look at it, or Nod might interpret it as being like a story of depicting how the dwarves like dug so deep that they eventually ran into the underwater elven colony of Myth Nantar and made peace with them, and that's what this story is like telling you, that's on this gate. Through the gate, from behind the gate now, you can see there's structures on the other side of this gate, as if you're walking into an underground city from this exterior roadway, if you will. So the connection to Myth Nantar is there. You feel confirmed about the fact that this somehow or other connected. These dwarves and the elves were aligned, and this was an ancient roadway that led to their city. So at some point in this city, you imagine that breakthrough area where they came across Myth Nantar exists, right? That's the conclusion. So
We're on the right path.
you're on the right path. Speaking of which, if you're looking around and trying to track any movement through here, it does appear as if this has been a road traveled. You can see, for example, that the path that you took to get here was worn versus other directions that probably would have been the ancient roadway. You're intersecting with it from your direction and following other footprints and tracks up to this point. You definitely feel like it's been a road traveled. Thoughts?
We're running out of playtime. That's one thought.
Yeah. We're probably down to the wire here, so I'll give you guys a chance to decide if there's anything else you wanted to, if you would move forward from here, or if you would maybe take time here to plan. I don't know what your thoughts on.
Nod would kind of point and giggle at the depictions and point it out to the other guys. Look, dwarves and elves being friends. That's pretty funny right here. But other than that, Nod would also be interested in talking to Tornik more so about becoming a hireling. It was like, hey, you come with us, we'll feed you, we'll take care of you, we'll show you the world, and not like you're doing too much better, too much other thing.
It's a good idea.
He says, I have nowhere else to go, friend. I will be at your side until another cause calls me, but I'll just need to be fed, and perhaps 10% of our take would be fair.
I agree.
If Can I charisma him down?
You can
5%.
you can try to convince him down to 5%.
Yeah, well, what's the food cost and the limited amount of water we have?
Let me have him roll against you and see how he beats his, who does better. Okay, yeah, so you could talk him down. You could talk him down a little bit from there. Say
Seven and a half.
you've settled on something like something absurd in between 7.8% in between something odd that you decided on randomly and he accepted. So not quite 10%. You definitely got him to come down a little bit. But yes, he seems like he would be a faithful hireling, so to speak, at this point. Anything
Well,
else you
good.
guys want to do? You want to pause it here? Is this a good spot to, probably a good spot to leave it?
I was
I think
thinking that they're going to come back and see a nice, beautiful dwarven.
Yeah, then you have to tell them all about how you ended up back here.
Let's say we have to explain the water portal
Yeah.
fiasco.
It could come back in handy knowing that place drops you in different spots, but
It was definitely useful information.
yeah, yeah. But now the fact that you guys can enter together and you'll have hopefully a even bigger party next time puts you in a better position to not be separated, and obviously that becomes a problem. Yeah, I think we'll park it here. I think this is a good place to leave it. You guys have made some progress. I think learned a little bit more about the overall plot line. You did make contact with Caprin, and he gave you a lot of good information on top of the fact that you've gone through the portal and confirmed that Myth Nantar, excuse me, it really exists. And after all this time, you've all laid eyes on it. In fact, Sahar has traveled it, part of it anyway. So next time we'll see if you're able to make it back in and even maybe catch up with Baden and his crew. But yeah, it's probably a good spot. We'll pause it here, and I think we play again. It'll be next Friday is the next
Yeah.
session. So
Not the 19th, the 26th.
it would be the 18th. The 18th.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
18th.
the 18th.
I
Yeah.
wrote
We're a week off from where we.
from usual schedule. I got you.
Yeah, this is an in-between session that we fit in just because it's been so long since we played, and I wanted to try to squeeze one in if we could. So thankfully you three were able to make it, and you survived without your mage. That's it. I'm gonna tell this one as two clerics and a thief walk into a portal.
Yeah.
You know, that's how
Well,
this
how
one.
did they ever survive then?
You guys didn't have either one of your tanks, either one of
Nope.
your frontline fighters, and you were missing your mage. I get the prudence, I can understand the caution, but I think it was good because you guys were systematic about learning, figuring out, and then setting a new course. Yeah, I think that probably the wisdom to come here and to be together will benefit you. So
We know when we get to Myth Nantar, that's going to be alive. Walking with
Hopefully
kids.
alive.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
at least now you know about the threat, right? That's a part of the threat.
yeah, they
Yeah.
spotted us fairly quickly. We're not going to be sneaking around in there.
Well,
Yeah,
glowing rock.
you definitely have to take more care when you're traveling through the city. You realize now, but I think having done it once, trying to be seen, knowing that if you went back and tried not to be seen, you could probably do a lot better as far as that's concerned. Because Sahuagin, although you may not have run into them a whole lot, you would know that they're pretty dense. So, not not the sharpest dagger in the sheath. But
We just grab a bunch of seaweed. We'll make like full body ghillie suits and we'll pretend we're like edge monsters and they won't even bother us.
So I was thinking something along those lines. We could theoretically use the glowing stones to set a trap, per se, and deal with a good handful of them that way. You
yeah,
essentially get together in the water, use a glowing stone as a bait
Keep
trap.
that thought in mind. If anyone comes up with an idea of how to set this trap, put it in Discord. Maybe by next week we'll.
That's right.
there you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right, guys. Thanks so much for making the time, and we'll do it again next week. We'll see if we can't make a little more progress towards finding this ancient city and closing
Yes,
out
thank
some
you.
of the mysteries.
I gotta go because I gotta work in the morning. But
All right, guys.
All right. See ya.
Take care.
Right.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.